So today we're going to go through another book. I hope it is a good book. I hope it is an amazing book. But as far as I can tell, it is quite an interesting one, and therefore I'm also willing to go through. It might just take us several episodes. I don't know yet, but we will see, as always. But as always as well after the intro. As we are always doing this. And with that being said, hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Ethics podcast. I'm pretty happy to be here. I'm pretty happy to record this episode. And I'm also really looking forward to this book because, the past 2 days, I guess, I've only went through Reddit things and I've only went through just some more or less nonsensical things, I guess. At least not as sensical and as quote-unquote smart, if you will, as the thing that I'm gonna go through now. This is what we're going to do. And it is once again by the civils.org site. So the link is as always going to be down in the description. And also that you can also check it out and that you can also use it and read it because I think you definitely are going to be faster than I am. But if you want to have it as an audiobook then please listen to the podcast, and or watch the YouTube video. But I guess as an audiobook version, it would be kind of a hella lit thing, So yeah. By the way, I hope that the audio is fine today. I have a little bit of soundproofing today to also make my life a little bit easier tomorrow, I guess. And also that I do not feel bad if the quality is significantly worse than normally. But I'm going to read. And I'm also trying to read in a well way, I would say. Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke. Amazing point. Would your belief in something stand up to the question, wanna bet? If you had to gamble significant money on that belief, would you still feel 100% about it? Or maybe more honestly, 60%? This creates healthy skepticism, encouraging you to seek the best information instead of just defending your belief. Now, objective accuracy wins instead of argument. And I think it is an amazing one because it is all about your own thinking. And we often think in not good ways, I guess, in terms of we believe that this is true, we believe that that is true, we believe whatever, but it is not really the case. It is more or less something else and quite the opposite. But so therefore I think it is an amazing one. I think it just also makes sense going through it. So please enjoy my notes. A bet is a decision about an uncertain future. Yes, indeed, most often. And therefore I would also say bets in terms of making money, I guess, isn't that of a good thing because you're not in charge. The only thing that you're charging is, your money for the bet. If this makes sense, I don't think so, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm referring to because I know that you're smart. So therefore, maybe don't bet unless you're just really, really, really sure. But even if you're really, really, really sure, chances are still there that it is not going to be just as you think it is going to be. Therefore, I don't know. Might not be the smartest thing to do. As well as just the lottery. This is kind of the just biggest bullshit there is. Don't do that. Really don't do that. Use that money for something else. But yeah, please use the money for something else. Maybe invest it in just something that is gonna really then give you the money in the future. Or just have it in stocks, have it in whatever it might be. It's probably just a better idea than just buying some lottery tickets and stuff like that. 2 things determine how our life turns out: the quality of our decisions and luck. Recognize the difference between the two. The difference is that our decisions are in our control and luck is not. So I don't know. I know it would be nice to have a ratio of 80-20, 80% decision making and 20% luck. But I think it just really depends on your decision making. If you really do make quality good decisions, then you're not that in need of luck, I would say, and I would argue. So maybe have a look at this. Maybe just have a look at the amount of luck you kind of need for having the life you want to have, because you're not in control of your luck. Resulting, quote unquote, is when you equate the quality of a decision with the quality of its outcome. A bad result does not mean a bad decision. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Hindsight bias is the tendency after an outcome is known to see the outcome as having been inevitable. I think this is a cool one because there's so many biases. The human being, I guess, is just a bias itself. Quite. There's so many different biases we can be influenced by, of course. When a decision doesn't work out, don't treat the result as if it were an inevitable consequence rather than a ballistic one. Don't focus only on the poor outcome. Yes, indeed, but also on the things you did, because maybe you should be doing something else. You know, just because you think that doing this is a good idea and you get a bad outcome doesn't mean that you should do it once again. Not necessarily. Of course, I think you just need to try it out and try it out and try it out. And at some point you're gonna just notice, yeah, I shouldn't be doing that. And then and then you're also probably gonna start not doing it once again, I think. Real games, real life consists of bluffing, of little tactics of deception, of asking yourself, what is the other person going to think I mean to do? The decision you make in your life, in business, saving and spending, health and lifestyle, choices, raising your children and relationships are real games. So real games, as he says, real life consists of bluffing, of little tactics of blah, 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 blah. Okay. Life is not like chess. Chess contains no hidden information and very little luck. Yes, that's true. Life is more like poker. You could make the smartest, most careful decision and still have it blow up in your face. Which I think is apparently quite accurate, you know, because indeed, you know, you can make really good decisions, as I said, but who knows, you know, maybe luck is not on your side. Maybe indeed, you know, if we just think about an equation then, and if luck has to be there, then it probably is a pretty huge thing, I guess, you know, because it always plays into the whole equation, you know, and so it could just make the difference between, okay, it being a good decision and it being a bad decision. And or maybe even on one day it is a good decision and on the other day it is not a good decision. So who knows? You have to learn from the result of your decisions. It would at least make sense. Let's put it like this. Saying I don't know is a necessary step toward enlightenment. It is a prelude to every great decision. A great decision is the result of a good process, not that it has a great outcome. Well, indeed, you know, because the process might consist of thinking about different decisions that you could be making and also just getting statistics, studies, and all those things to back up or back your decision. Good decision makers try to figure out how unsure they are, making their best guess at the chances that different outcomes will occur. I'm just gonna read it once again. Good decision makers try to figure out how unsure they are, okay, making the best guess at the chances that different outcomes will occur. Okay, I see. Yes, indeed. And I think it makes sense, even though the first time as I've read it, I thought like, I'm not sure. But figuring out how unsure you are, I think makes sense, because if you know that you're sure, then you just don't have to figure it out anymore. But if you know that you're unsure and everything is not as you think it would be, then indeed, maybe thinking about it once again and or once more might make sense. But I gotta have to check if this is fine. I guess it should be fine. But yeah, okay, let's say I hope it should be fine. I really hope. But we will definitely see, you know? We will, as always, see. Where have I stopped? This is always the beauty of it. Any prediction that is not a 0% or 100% can't be wrong solely because the most likely future doesn't unfold. Long shots hit some of the time. Yes, indeed. You know, if you go really big, really big, and hit for the long shot, then it might hit. When you think probabilistically, you are less likely to use adverse results alone as a proof that you made a decision error, because you recognize the possibility that the decision might have been good luck and or incomplete information and a sample size of one intervened. Yes, indeed, like sample size is I think a huge thing there. I think always, like, as I'm just thinking about it, I mean, it just really does not, I mean, whatever decision you might take or might make, nobody says that the outcome is gonna be A, the same, B, good or bad, and C, okay, there is always gonna be an outcome, yeah, but I mean, I might make the same decision today and tomorrow is gonna be a bad one, and today it's a good one, or a good result and a bad result. So it indeed is like, I don't know, you know, you just, I mean, of course, if you start thinking about that from really early stages of your life on, then you might make a list, you know, and you might also see what decisions might be good or might not be that good, you know. But of course, like it's like there's so many different variables. I think I guess maybe in the end it's gonna come down to, or boil down to, it's really not mattering whether you make this decision or that decision. Of course, like there is gonna be some decisions that are just bad, truly and surely and solely bad, you know, because of various reasons, because of laws maybe as well, and of probabilities and all those things, you know. But on the other hand, there might also be just some of them that, yeah, that are just really evolving a lot of luck, if you will, and or just a variable that we can't really change or influence. Where did I stop? Making better decisions is not about being wrong or right, but about calibrating among all the shades of gray. And I think also about just viewing the things. You know, of course, I might view a result as bad, but on the other day, I might view it as good, you know, even though it is the exact same thing, based on the exact same process, based on the exact same whatnot. Every decision commits you to some course of action, and that by definition eliminates acting on other alternatives. Not placing a bet on something is itself a bet. Yes, indeed. You know, not doing is also doing something, because you're not doing anything. Most bets are bets against yourself. You're betting against all the future versions of yourself that you're not choosing. Be a better belief calibrator, using experience and information to more objectively update your beliefs to more accurately represent the world. And this is something, this is a really, really, really huge one. And I gotta actually have to mark that or highlight that, if you will. So there it is. I actually have to check up whether I really have to update all the things. I really have to, because I forgot about just putting in, not really the effort, but just extracting all those things and putting it into a PDF and then uploading it, because normally there is a PDF. As you might have heard or not, it depends. The thing is, this is something that I've been thinking about yesterday. As I've been talking about it in the past few days very, very often, I'm gonna have my A-levels in quite a month. Tomorrow, actually, really in a month. The thing is, I'm a little bit feared that I'm not gonna pass the maths exam, even though, since laws are how they are at this point in time, or things and circumstances are how they are at this point in time, I'm gonna pass it inevitably. You know, I'm just gonna pass it, because they're gonna use my grade of the subject per se for this year. If this makes sense, and then the A-levels. What the fuck? The A-levels grade, of course. And they're gonna, I think, do 50-50. I do just actually have to check up, because there was a press conference today, so I gotta have to look that up. The thing is, I'm gonna pass inevitably. But I've had fear that I'm not gonna pass it. The thing is, I have always made it. I have always been able to do something. You know, as far as I can remember, I might also be wrong there. And of course, I had some tests and I had some exams where I wasn't that good, and I've also failed some of them. But I think, you know, and also just based on the experience that I'm having, and now really experience, and also just objectively thinking about it, if you really do that, you might see, and probably are gonna see, that you don't have to be feared, you don't have to worry, but everything is gonna turn out as all the other times before, if you're doing it in the exact same way. Of course, I'm gonna learn my fucking ass off. I'm gonna, because, not because I just really value it so much, not really because of that, but just because I want to show myself that I'm going to be able to do that. Maybe also for the future, that I can say like, okay, I have done it at this point in time. I've made the decision to do it, and I've been able to do it, so that I'm then in the future I'm also going to see like, okay, if I really want to do that, then I'm also going to be able to do that, which I think is an amazing thing, isn't it? Let's see. And this is how you think you, this is how you, I see. Okay, this is how you think you form beliefs. First of all, you hear something. Second of all, you think about it and vet it, determining whether it is true or false. The third one is, only after that you form your belief. It turns out, though, that you actually, or you actually form abstract beliefs this way. Okay, I see. First of all, you hear something. So this is the real way, how it's, as he says or she says, I don't know the author. So first of all, you hear something. Second of all, you believe it to be true. Third of all, only sometimes later, if you have the time or the inclination, you think about it and vet it. determining whether it is in fact true or false. How you form beliefs was shaped by the evolutionary push toward efficiency rather than accuracy. Our ancestors could form new beliefs only through what they directly experienced. It's reasonable to presume our senses aren't lying. Yes, indeed. We didn't develop a high degree of skepticism when our beliefs were about things we directly experienced, especially when our lives were at stake. The system we already had was experience it, believe it to be true, maybe and rarely question it later. Our old system is still in charge. Wanna bet? Triggers you to engage in that third step that you only sometimes get to. Yes, indeed. And as I'm thinking about it, and as I've also been thinking about it while I was reading, I thought about back in the days, okay, I'm gonna eat a berry, you know? Or actually, let's put it like this. I see someone eating a berry. This person, I know whether it is female or male, doesn't matter at this point in time. This person made a decision to eat this berry. Maybe this person saw somebody else eating this berry and it was okay, it was fine. So this person eats that berry and dies. And because I'm seeing it, I decide to not do that. And I think this makes sense. I think it really does make sense. First of all, experience, and then I believe it. I experience that this berry is not going to be good for me, so I'm not going to eat it. Probably because I do not want to try it out. Probably also because I don't know under which circumstances this person ate this berry or these berries. You know, maybe they were moldy. Who knows? Probably not the case, but who knows? Maybe there was poison because of some animals that shit on it. Could also be the case, but who knows? But I don't know that. So I think, and as he also says, or as she also says, it makes sense and it is way, 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 way more efficient to just believe in it and go on from there. You know, you're not gonna die. But on the other hand, if you see somebody doing something and they're fine with it, and it turns out to not be fine for you, then you're gonna die anyway. Quite. You know, so indeed, you know, we started with really, really, really not a lot of knowledge, but over the years we have seen a lot of things and believed in a lot of things and whatnot, so that it now is indeed the case. You know, that we have a lot of knowledge, because we really have a lot of knowledge. You might think of yourself as updating your beliefs based on new information, but you do the opposite, altering your interpretation of that information to fit your belief. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You know, which is a really complicated one and something to really look out for, because we are often doing that. If you think of beliefs as only 100% right or 100% wrong when confronting new information that might contradict your belief, you have only two options. A, make the massive shift in your opinion. I'm very sorry, by the way, about that. Make the massive shift in your opinion of yourself from 100% to 100% wrong. Or B, ignore and discredit the new information. Now guess what we're gonna do? It feels bad to be wrong, so you choose version B. I know you're just gonna do the discrediting thing and you're gonna neglect to see the information, and then you're gonna just leave on as what it is. Being smart can actually make bias worse. Blind spot bias is worse the smarter you are. I see. Yeah. By the way, I also thought about that. Yeah. Well, anyway, being smart and aware of your capacity for irrationality alone doesn't help you refrain from biased reasoning. People are better at recognizing biased reasoning in others, but are blind to bias in themselves. Yes, indeed. I think we've all seen that. Being like, well, okay, this person really indeed, I know, is thinking in very strange ways, and you know, this person is definitely biased by that specific influence, and yeah, that's the point. I know that's my point. I'm gonna have to see what's wrong there. Okay, nothing is wrong there, so we're gonna go ahead. By the way, I have to check. Should be fine. I think the next episode is also gonna be about a book. I feel like reading today. I don't know why. I really don't know why. Being smart and aware of your capability. I've read that already. You are wired to protect your beliefs even when your goal is to truth seek. Offering a wager, I think, brings the risk out in the open. The more you recognize that you are betting on your beliefs with your happiness, attention, health, money, or time, the more you're likely to temper your statements, getting closer to the truth as you acknowledge the risk inherent in what you believe. Then you recognize that there is always a degree of uncertainty, that you are generally less sure than you thought you were. that what you believe is almost never 100% or 0% accurate. Yes, indeed. Probably not, because as I said, and because of what I said, and this is, by the way, for me, myself, the beauty of having a podcast. I just talk about things and I just start talking. I don't really think about the things that I'm gonna say. Of course, I do think about these, but I'm gonna certainly say something, and sometimes gonna say something that I then have to think about, like, yeah, indeed, it makes sense, because I've never ever thought about it in that way. So it kind of reminds me on autonomous writing, just in speaking form, and I'm just speaking, and then I see, well, what I said is indeed right or wrong, or is indeed interesting or something. But because what I was talking about before is there's so many variables, so we will never ever know whether it is 100% right or 100% wrong, and or 100% accurate, and or 0% accurate. So yes, I know, yes, so many different variables, hundreds and millions of different variables. What if, in addition to expressing what you believe, you also rated your level of confidence about the accuracy of your belief on a scale of 0 to 10? I'm 60% confident that Citizen Kanye won Best Picture. Reflect that your knowledge is incomplete. You can express how confident you are by thinking about the number of plausible alternatives and declaring that range. The less you know about a topic or the more luck involved, the wider your range. Of course, because as I said, luck is probably a very, very, very important variable in most things that we are doing. Even though, and this, by the way, is something that PewDiePie was talking about, which I thought really interesting and really good, and really also worth a lot. How should I say it? He said that there's a lot of luck involved, and there was also a lot of luck involved for him becoming successful and stuff like that. And I thought, yes, indeed. And he also said that we just like to feel in control, but we're actually not. Of course, I'm gonna neglect that if I want to see, or if I want to believe that I am in control. The thing is, if you really think about it, like, you're actually not in control. Even though, as I first heard it, I've always been like, well, I don't really believe in that, because I want to feel in control, of course. The thing is, chances are there. Chances are there that a helicopter is going to fly there and crash into my window. Chances are there. Chances are there that I'm going to go outside and somebody gives me $1 trillion out of nowhere, with some strange apparatus and whatnot. The chance is there. Is the chance high, or the probability, is it high? No, absolutely fucking not. It's really, it's really, really, really small. But the chance is there. As well as it is always there to just, that just something happens. There might be just some physical thing about that, or some formulas about that. So luck, or this uncertain variable, kind of always has to be there, no matter what you're trying to calculate. Which sometimes can be a really fucked up thing. I mean, if you think about logical thinking, and you think like, well, should I make this decision? Or, well, let's put it like this. Should I take this thing, or should I take this thing? And then you think about all the different aspects that run into your decision, all those different variables. The thing is, of course, you could also, first of all, say that you might be wrong or right with those variables that you're having, and with those maybe biases that you're having, those pre-thoughts, those thoughts that you're having in your mind. On the other hand, there might just be something coming up that you don't expect and don't know about. Chances are there, they're not really high, but yeah, so therefore, like, every singular decision is kind of just, doesn't matter, especially in the long term, I guess. Quite. Of course, in the short term, like, should I start smoking or not? No, absolutely fucking not. It's not a good idea. Just have a look at the statistics, have a look at the studies. It's not a good idea. But yeah, of course. I mean, you could say, okay, based on the statistic, based on the study, I'm gonna die in 5 years if I start smoking right now, because other people, or it also happened to other people. But then once again, you can say, okay, there is a variable, and this variable says that it is either the truth or it is not. But I don't know the variable. So in the end, who knows? In the end, we can't predict the future, only based by or based on the things that we have already experienced and whatnot, which can create a good basis. Don't get me wrong there, but there is a parameter, there is a variable, there is something that could fuck everything. Quite. And yeah, this is the final thought of this episode. And since it is loading, the question of today, oh, it's not. The question of today is, could you say something to somebody that you know is going to make this person very, very happy? Could you say something? Because you probably can, and you probably also know a person, whether it is your mom, whether it is somebody that you're having a crush on. Maybe it is just something completely different. I don't know. But you probably have somebody like that, and you should maybe take this decision, or should make this decision first of all, and second of all, you should take this chance, because who knows what's gonna happen? Who knows? You know? But yeah, with that being said, I wish you the best health, happiness, and also success, and also hope that you're gonna rise yourself and you're gonna be remembered. Which basically means your legacy basically means just being a nice person and then being remembered as a nice person. Yeah, 3 other questions that I'm having for you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions are hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea. And with that being said, I'm going to see you the next time. Bye bye, and thank you very much from the bottom of my fucking heart. I just truly appreciate all the time and all the attention and all the people. So I really hope that I've been able to just help you in some way. Maybe the podcast is going to help you in some way. But yeah, I'll see you.